What's up, people? Alright, here's my 125 gallon and I run a pretty extensive filter on it. I have a 25 gallon sump filter, 30 gallon 25 gallon of water, and there's a 950 gallon per hour mag drive pump as the return pump, and just wanted to show you a little maintenance that I got to do routinely. Is because I don't have a drilled tank. I have to have an external overflow. Okay, and it's a CPR overflow rated for 800 gallons an hour, and I've had it for about 4.5–5 years, and I've never ran into a single issue with it. I have had to replace the aqua lifter pump, but that's just normal wear and tear. The problem I'm running into this morning is that every once in a while I'll get a gurgle from this, and it's got a screen with a breather tube that comes out of it. And normally I never run into any issues, but every now and again it'll start to gurgle. And at first I was adjusting the little breather tube on it, and then I started looking at it, and I'll show you. This screen pops out of there, and I'll show you the reason of what happens. The screen gets clogged with all of these snails on here. Like, I very rarely run into plant material stuck on this, so there's really no way around it except a pre-filter on that, and I really don't want to run a pre-filter just because you're increasing your chance of possible clogging with the filter pad. And if an overflows the wrong way, it's not going to be a good day. I have a lot of wet floors, so what I do is I literally let that thing soak in regular tap water because it's chlorinated. So what that does is that kills any of the algae growth on it, if there's any algae growth, and it will cause the snails to release, and eventually they will pass. I have to do this roughly once a month, maybe every 3 weeks. Every now and again you get a snail bloom, and they eventually taper off and equal themselves out. But as you can see, I mean, I got snails on the glass in the front, in the back. There's snails all over, and snails are good. They help aerate your soil, and they help clean up any of the leftovers. And I feed this tank really heavy. I feed it frozen cubes, frozen bloodworms. I give the angels beef heart, and then I also use New Life Spectrum pellets, which are one of the best pellet foods on the market. And then for light feedings, I have flake food. It's bloodworm and beef heart. So I know they have a high protein diet. But the only issue I ever have with this thing is the gurgling, and I'll tell you, in the middle of the night that can get pretty annoying. Luckily it only happens very rarely. So as I clean that pre-filter on there, that will eliminate any of the problem until they accumulate on there. And it only takes a minute or two to clean that screen out, so it's not a big deal at all. A lot of people think that having a tank this size is a lot of maintenance. Well, a fish tank is as much maintenance as you want to put into it. I do weekly water changes, 75% water changes, because these are huge angels. I mean, some of these are as big as my palm. So these are huge. Like, from bottom of the fin to the top of the fin, I mean, these guys are like 8–9 inches tall. So they produce a lot of waste. A lot of waste. So if I don't keep up with my water changes and my maintenance, this tank can really quick develop algae. And as you can tell, I don't have much algae on here at all. I very rarely scrape any of my glass. I am running an issue over here where there is some, you can't even really see it, some algae built up on the glass itself here. But I'm trying to balance this out by adding more plants. I just added these red crypts here. Here's some more of the red crypts here I planted in there. And then I also have the monster mother crypt over here. And this monster crypt, you can tell that's very, very tall. And it has developed all of these. So it's growing very effectively. And in here, there's Eco Complete with, I believe it was a bag of fluorite that I had mixed in here with moon sand, Tahitian moon sand. It used to be all black, but I've got a really big Plecostomus in here. And he likes to rearrange it. I wish I could get him on video. He's been hiding. Where's he at today? Right there. That's his head. And it spans. You can see his body under that log right there. Let's see if I can get a view from over here. Oh, kind of. He's a big boy. He's 14 inches. He doesn't look like it there, but he's all of 14 inches, and there he goes. He's about 4 inches wide, so he's a big boy. But, yep, he stirs everything up in here. So, for now, this is my little update. Just doing a little maintenance on the CPR overflow. I do recommend these overflows to anybody, because these are, I've never had an issue with it. A lot of people are worried that you're going to lose their siphon, but as long as you have it set up right with the correct amount of flow going into it, you shouldn't ever really run into any issues other than your regular maintenance. So with that being said, I'm very happy with how everything is turning out in this tank. So if you have any questions or concerns, check us out. Happy tanks!